Okay. So before we actually get into this video, let me hit you up with a little quick disclaimer, okay? The whole point of this video is not to hate on Elden Ring. It's a great game. It's a masterclass. I just truly think that there's no one out there willing to give it the criticism it deserves. This game is a masterpiece, game of the year, but that doesn't mean that there aren't some blaringly obvious problems that no one is willing to talk about. I did some really annoying research and watched some poorly made videos and got nothing more than a couple of gameplay mechanic tweaks and the fact that we need an easy mode of all things. No one is actually willing to talk about the problems behind this game, the things that have been fixed in open world games for the past 10 years, the things that FromSoft, the company itself that made this game, fixed back in Dark Souls 2 8 years ago on the PS3. Well, without further ado, let's start up this video before I use up all my points in the intro. I think probably the best place to start here, for our first topic, is to talk a little bit about the state of play. The game's balance. And I can confidently say this game is not balanced, not even remotely. From PvE to PvP, there has been no good adjustments so far within the first couple of patches. I have watched Kamazer from the very start of this game, with Kamazer, Terra Magica, and the Wondrous Physic completely shred through any boss. Okay? I have seen the Mimic tier 1v1 enemies, and I have seen them literally do nothing about it. Yes, they nerfed Sword of Night and Flame. That's cool. Why wouldn't they nerf the actual spell behind it, right? I mean, I see that they're having changes, but these changes aren't affecting anything that we actually care about. In PvP, it's even worse. I have seen so many one-taps, from the many arcane builds, the jumping strength builds, the glintstone pebble intelligence builds. I mean, even like the shield builds that can one-tap you, that's horrible to see. I mean, most of the abilities in the game will do a lot of damage, and I understand that. This game is more focused on high damage and flashy moves than the other games in the series. But that doesn't mean that when you hit one of the soft caps for Vigor, you should be able to get one-shot by everything. Honestly, most of these things at 60 Vigor will still one-shot you, if not leave you with around 50 health. Even just some general things like Bloodhound Step just make the game seem more and more unfair as you play it. So after actually beating Elden Ring, the first thing I dove into was PvP. PvP and multiplayer may not be a staple for the FromSoft game, but it's definitely something most people end up trying out. And the first thing you really have to figure out when you're about to join some matches is where exactly you can do PvP. In Elden Ring, the only place you can get like fair 1v1s, it's going to be Raya Lucaria. And after going there and exploring the map a little bit, I just thought to myself, why don't we have arenas? There's literally arenas situated throughout the map that we can go into. FromSoft has been doing arenas since Dark Souls 2, and in Dark Souls 2 it was a huge addition with the DLC. It's just a really, really nice quality of life enhancement that I'm very surprised they didn't implement. I mean, I could see them waiting to add it to a DLC, but now is kind of the time to put it in, because a lot of people are losing interest after the game. It would really add some depth into the end game that is kind of needed right now. They could even add something like a ranking system to it. That would be something completely new to the series. That would be really cool. I mean, what better way to flex your gamer skill than being a high rank on one of the hardest games? In reality, it wouldn't have been that hard of a enhancement, and it would have been a huge game changer for most PvP players. So, FromSoft kind of has a track record when it comes to replaying a game. Normally you'll just New Game Plus it, and I've never had a problem with that. The bosses in every FromSoft game are very special and a really cool experience. So when you beat the game, most people want to do it again, and I appreciate that. As you work through the game, you finally create a build and you want to use it against all the bosses you beat beforehand. Now, FromSoft royally screwed over Elden Ring here. Since Elden Ring is an open world game, it has multiple copies of each boss, or at least most bosses. And this kind of ruins the aspect of the specialness behind each boss. It kind of just throws it away and makes you not really care anymore. Why would you want to experience it all over again when you've done it 9 times against the same avatar boss? And then it's not like you can just go explore the bosses you didn't fight, because you're probably completely overleveled once you get to that point. And on top of all this, once you get to a certain part in the story, the game implements a point of no return, a change to the world that will dramatically ruin areas, get rid of groups of enemies, and cancel quest lines. It's kind of an overall screw you from the FromSoft devs. To be completely honest with you, I just don't understand why they implemented this. It just seemed like a sort of a push to make you replay the game, which really isn't what was needed here. To be completely honest with you, something that was needed, a good change to this, would have been an item like a bonfire aesthetic. That was an item in Dark Souls 2 that would change the level of difficulty of a boss. It would make it harder for you to fight, and that would be wonderful to let you explore the rest of the Elden Ring bosses that you happen to miss. That would have been a good in-game addition, not a point of no return. And for those who have just finished Elden Ring, or at least are very close to it, I recommend not replaying it. I recommend trying out a different FromSoft game if you haven't played them all yet. I mean, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and especially Dark Souls 3 are some great titles to start from if Elden Ring was your first From game. To be completely honest with you, New Game Plus and just a new build in Elden Ring doesn't add much to it. It's kind of boring compared to the other series. I just feel like From was right in choosing the risky choice to do an open world game. They should have just realized that they had to be risky with all the other features as well. You can't really implement 15-year-old features with a completely new style of play. It just doesn't work. Legitimately, I'm not even going to dedicate an argument to this. Why don't we have crossplay? Call of Duty has been doing it for the past 3 years. I mean, it's 2022. You kind of need to get up and put it out, you know? You put this series on every single console and every single platform, you know? PC, Xbox, PlayStation. Why don't you just let them all play together?
Man, after looking over all this stuff and talking about all this, I really do wonder what FromSoft's thought process was. From little things to like crafting and altering garments, what was the point of that? Crafting is 99% useless except for the item needed for multiplayer, or maybe some sort of buff you need. And altering garments is always a negative trade. This game is legitimately sensory overload for those wanting to play it. I mean, there's like 99 sorceries, 99 incantations, and like 200 weapons. But meta is only like 3, Bloody Slash and Common Dessert. Legitimately, it seems like just a weird thought process to put in all of this, but put in such little depth. It seems to me like they may have overcommitted and then kind of just screwed over everything. Again, I'm not saying this game's bad. I just feel like there's a lot of parts that could easily be improved that just seems a bit off from the studio to me. So, throughout this whole video, I've talked a lot about how Elden Ring is missing little quality of life enhancements, and I really feel like I need to elaborate specifically on that. What I've meant by that this whole time is that Elden Ring doesn't have the normal features an open world game has nowadays. It doesn't have like a quest log.
it doesn't have a map with good markings. And I understand why they didn't do this. FromSoft has always had a sort of vibe where it was hands off and minimal, where you didn't know what quest you're doing, you didn't know what was going on, and that was cool in the older games. The main problem here, though, is that as an open world game, there's so much to explore that it needs to have some sort of functions. And I don't want them to truly subtract from this. They could maybe just show a quest log where it shows the start, where each NPC is like the starting place of the quest, or maybe on the map show where bosses you have seen but not yet killed are. Just little enhancements here, so you don't have to constantly look up things, because it's not like they're hiding something from us. They're just making it more difficult and making it more time consuming. Because instead of just looking in the game, I'm going to have to pull out my phone and search up where's this or where's that, what happened to this or that, or how to do this quest line. It's not really necessary. It's just kind of in the way. Well, thank you for watching another one of my videos. As always, if you don't mind subscribing, dropping a like, or maybe even commenting if something interested you. Anything will help my channel. It's still small, and I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I want to do with it. I just appreciate y'all for getting through this, and I appreciate y'all for supporting me. Either way, whether you did subscribe or whether you didn't, thanks for watching, y'all.